In this Northern Brewer video, we're on a beer crawl at the Minnesota State Fair. We hit up the first day of the fair to try out some of this year's new fair exclusive brews, including one-offs, collaborations, some wacky beers, and a quick stop by the state's Craft Brewers Guild area. Join us for roving tasting notes, some state fair memories, and a whole lot of fun. And be sure to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more beer nerd goodness in the future. Alright, we're here at what some people consider kind of the nexus of craft beer at the State Fair. Ballpark Cafe, undoubtedly the biggest variety, the most breweries probably represented. We're starting things off with a 5%er Eddie's Lager, Shells Brewing, and Back Channel Brewing collaboration.
It's awesome. The nose is like, you're thinking, wait, I'm getting an IPA? No, I'm not. I'm getting a lager. It's smooth and crisp. Perfect breakfast beer.
The first thing you said was kind of like IPL, and that's big
sure.
IPL notes. Big Sauvignon Blanc grapes, they call it out because it's all New Zealand hops. It's kind of danky for a first lager of the day. I was kind of thinking it was going to be more classic shell style, but like, okay.
Yeah, this is great. I could do this all day.
Minnesota! Minnesota!
Yeah, do you know anything about the Ballpark Cafe? Abby's going to be our factoid distributor.
This is the only place that you can get the mini donut beer, and they're celebrating their 10-year anniversary here. That one is from Lift Bridge in Stillwater. They have quite a few of the new, for 2023, State Fair beer exclusives here at the Ballpark Cafe. I think we're trying 2 of them today. That's all I know about Ballpark Cafe.
Awesome. So we're gonna finish up this Eddie. We're being responsible. We're breaking our 12 or 20 ounce pours into 3 cups just to be responsible. We're on a lightning round of tasting here.
Speed round.
Up next, let's try that mini donut beer.
All right.
Awesome.
All right, beer number 2, as Abby mentioned, this is the mini donut beer. Mini donuts are obviously an important part of the fair, right? As a food.
Yes.
Yeah. So Lift Bridge kind of took the concepts of the mini donut, that what is it, kind of like a toasted cake donut?
Yeah.
Brown sugar,
deep
cinnamon.
fried beer batter, or not beer batter, just battered in oil. It's so good.
The beer itself, if you get a sip of it without the rim, without the cinnamon sugar rim, I feel like the beer itself is not, oh god, sweet donut beer.
Yeah.
Like the sugar rim really helps.
Yeah, so Abby's sipping. You can see it's got a rim of sugar and cinnamon.
They say it's just cinnamon sugar, but I don't know why I get such a hint of apple. They say it's not there, but is it in my head? I don't know.
How would you
Every
achieve that?
year,
Like some kind of powdered
I always
apple?
think, how does this taste a little bit like apple to me?
Like cider?
I don't know. They say it's just cinnamon sugar.
Now that you say that, I get that, what you're saying, but on the nose, it's so much like I'm sniffing a donut, but there isn't even the cinnamon sugar on the rim, but it's still in the aroma.
Yeah, I get this like cakey, dark kind of cakey malt character. I also think it's toffee and caramelly. So I mean, there's all kinds of things that are like donut adjacent, regardless if you have the sip off the rim.
I like your comment about toffee and caramel, because it has that warmth of an aroma, or an apple, caramel apple.
Or like when people do like apple cider donuts, like where the glaze has apple cider in it.
Yeah.
A little apple.
Tell us if you know anything about powdered apple products in the comments below. All right, we're on to beer number 3. We'll tell you about it in just a second.
Hey, bro, what's up? Hey, you baby out at the Ballpark Cafe. Here I am doing it. About to get all kinds of that paddle on it.
All right, we're on our 3rd beer, and we ran into our cohort, Todd Jackson, who's on his second beer. He got the Superior Shiver Cold IPA out of Bent Paddle. Give me your 3-word tasting notes on that beautimous beer.
Clean, Not too much hop presence. It's just a smooth hop presence, I should say. Cold IPA style. Great beer. Yeah, it's tasty.
You just told us a quick story about how important the state fair is to at least one member of your family.
Sure. Oh, all my wife's family, we're hardcore state fair fans. We're one of the lucky bunch of people that have gotten to camp at the state fair. We've done that a couple times, and we usually get here about 5 to 8 times a year. My brother-in-law has a special state fair tattoo of the Gopher mascot of the state fair. We just love it. The atmosphere is too much to beat.
Woo!
Yeah.
Happy first day, Todd Jackson.
Thank you.
Click, click, click. Woo! Ballpark Cafe, still here. This is Cucumber Summer IPA from Indeed Brewing Company. IPA with cucumber. I said that very weird.
Cucumber.
I know from recently having a cucumber beer from someone else that sent it to me from Georgia, it might be extract, kind of like a syrup or an extract that could be whole. We don't know the story behind this beer necessarily, but I will say the second you smell it, it has this like cucumber salady kind of smell.
Which I don't know if that sounds appealing, but it is.
Yeah.
It smells good. It tastes good. I feel like if you say cucumber, you're like, I don't want that in my beer, but they describe it as herbal, and I feel like, yes, that's, I guess how else would you're not going to describe a beer as vegetal.
Well, it's almost got like the essence of a dill pickle beer without the dill or the tart. It's got that like missing, you're like, oh, this is what the base layer of a pickle is. It's a cucumber, duh.
I know,
but it's
like
also
going into those like fancy Aveda salons where they give you water. The salon and spas where they give you like the cucumber water. It's like that, but it's beer, so it's obviously better.
100%. I couldn't figure out the tasting.
That's why it's so refreshing.
Yeah, it is.
It's like a spa.
It's a spa. It's a spa beer.
Or like the lobby of a really nice hotel who's got cucumber in their water.
Yep.
That is
It's
exactly
like
what it is. I thought it was going to be more of the lighter lager style, but it's apparently an IPA with just more cucumber.
Yeah, there's a bitterness from hops. There's also kind of a fruitiness that I think we're getting beyond. I think we could all agree cucumbers are fairly neutral.
Yeah.
I wouldn't call them bland to insult them, but they are a little neutral. So the hops here are doing God's work and kind of like elevating it a little bit with some other layers. I like it. It's weird. It's summer.
This
is a fair.
This is a great beer that I would have never expected.
All right. Next up, who knows? We'll be right back. We're on our way to the Craft Brewers Guild area at the State Fair. Just kind of want to talk real briefly about how important this day is. The first day of the fair, we've already run into several brew teams, like breweries send out their marketing, their sales, their brew squad. We've run into a couple of bloggers already. Heavy Table are out here. It's just like this first day that you get a chance to taste the new beers, the new foods, everything on a stick. But we also just know that it's such a big thing for Minnesotans. This is called the Brew Together, which is modest
and state fair
and fair state.
Fair State.
No, it's fair to get that mixed up because it's awesome. I always wondered if Fair State named their brewery because this is like the state of the fair, because it's such a, but I don't know if it has more to do with. Anyway, so this is a collaborative West Coast IPA, just kind of classic, right?
Yeah, for sure. Simcoe and Columbus.
Chinook
Yep. All kind of C hops, but also
Yes.
Simcoe, which might as well be a C hop, but it's an S hop. Yeah, just piney, a little citrusy, clean, like coming off the cucumber beer. I feel like we're back to like, a beer that
This is a normal beer.
tastes like beer. Some people would argue it's not normal because it's still big and hoppy, but
I think sometimes IPAs just are too bitter to me, and to me this one isn't, but I think that's because they said it's dry hopped.
yeah, a lot of
I just think
this
that's why you get the hops, but not in a super bitter way.
Show that tattoo real quick, Abby. Tell me the story of this tattoo. How important is the fair that you would put it on your body?
This is from Ye Old Mill. We're actually right across the street from it over there. That is the oldest attraction at the Minnesota State Fair. It's been running since 1915.
What is Ye Old Mill?
It is, they call it the original Tunnel of Love. It's very kitschy. Most of it is completely dark tunnel, And then at random points, there's like little characters that are like, I don't like, they look like little leprechauns and like little characters.
They're like little vintage gnomes that are a little creepy.
Gnomes or leprechauns. It's the weirdest janky ride, but I feel like if you grew up going to the fair, you love it.
Yeah.
For me growing up here at the fair, it was how can you invite your first crush onto Ye Olde Mill and sneak a kiss in the dark?
Wow.
And I never did that,
Just like
but I
miss
wanted
their
to.
face completely.
Yeah, just like splat.
Also, there was a year that someone, I think I was in high school, someone had snuck in, went on Ye Olde Mill and put laundry detergent in the water, and so there was like foam and suds all over the water mill, and they had to shut it down. I think it was just for the day. I don't think it was for like the whole state fair that year, but that's
They had to empty it. They had to rinse and repeat a couple times.
It's a fun.
But it's been the cleanest it's ever been.
There you go.
So now they pat you down and look for Tide detergent pods before you get in the Ye Olde Mill. All right, onward. Now we're here outside of the Minnesota Craft Brewers Guild area. This is kind of a unique thing here in the ag building, or I don't know if it's considered ag building.
Agriculture, horticulture.
Yeah, so they kind of treat beer as if it's an agricultural product that it deserves to be considered. And you get these flights, there's 4 in each. They kind of make them very different. I think early on they kind of made like a light flight, a dark flight, a funky flight, and then I think they got wise to the fact that people like a little of everything. So now
They used to have a theme.
what we have in our flight is a coffee blonde, an Irish red ale, which won the gold at World Beer Cup. Troy knew that fun fact.
Ursa Minor up in Duluth, shout out, and to Mike Reed, former NB employee who was there working on this beer back in the day.
Okay.
It's won a couple times, a gold medal in the World Beer Cup, so a big deal with Minnesota for sure. Shout out to my friends in Duluth.
So the cool thing about this area is they bring in brewers pretty much throughout the day. Right now, Indeed Brewing is on stage just talking about their production, their kind of recipe philosophy, plans for the future. You can see there's all kinds of displays. Just a really cool area for people that might not know much about beer to come in and get like a real crash course on all things beer. Take a little pride in their local brewing community, their statewide brewing community.
There's a neat connection with the Minnesota agricultural community. Obviously, that's the point of the building. But you've got the Minnesota apples. We're famous for it at the University of Minnesota. You've got obviously the grains coming from the Dakotas and Canada and some of Minnesota. So if you're into Minnesota things, this is the place to be, especially the world within the world of the Minnesota State Fair.
Boom, yeah, so shout out to the Guild. Always stop by here for a flight of something interesting before you move on to bigger cups, which we are about to do. Oh yeah, oh man, thank you so much. Yeah. Woo! One other thing, homebrewing related, that is cool about the Guild space, they opened this up and let the State Fair Homebrew Competition has its kind of award ceremony here, a live best of show, so you get to see 2 or 3 people sit at a table and drink a lot of small, tiny cups of beer. But that's also a big deal. Like, that's the day that a lot of local homebrewers just plan on being at the fair, because it's like, it's kind of like live tweeting, but it's just really actually live happening in front of you. And then whether or not you won an award, everybody kind of gets together and heads out, get some good beer and good food. Yeah, we're going to Grandstand. We're getting our steps in. Burn those beers, burn those beers, burn those beers. We're here at the world famous Minnesota State Fair Grandstand. We're having Duck, Duck, Blue Duck. Because if you know your Minnesota history, people here don't play Duck, Duck, Goose. They play
Duck, Duck, Gray Duck.
It comes from gra, isn't it pronounced gra, anka gra? And it's like the Swedish duck, duck, gray duck. And that's why we say gray duck and not goose. It's a Swedish like school game for kids.
Anyway, so we're drinking a beer called Duck Duck Blue Duck. It comes with a tiny blue duck. It is Surly Brewing Company's kind of like standard lemonade, hard lemonade, infused with a little bit of blueberry goodness, and topped with a salt foam, a salted foam, and a small blue rubber ducky. And it drinks, it's nice.
It's definitely spritzy, that blueberry, whatever they do to create the blueberry. has almost like a LaCroix characteristic. At first I didn't think I was drinking a beer.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, oh, this is a beer, it's just blueberry.
I feel like the base beer might be a kettle sour with lemon.
Oh, but
I could
it's
be
not
completely making that
overly
up. No,
tart.
it's just
It's
a
not
little
low
tart.
pH.
Yeah. So-
More,
and I could be totally wrong. It might just be.
more zesty than tart, I guess.
Yeah, zesty is a great word. Are blueberries zesty? That isn't usually an adjective I use with blueberries.
Yeah.
But it does have a sparklingness to it. That it's much more effervescent in a flavor on your tongue with a sparkly than it is. I don't get it as much in the aroma.
Troy also got the cotton candy sparkling wine. They pour the sparkling wine over a little poof of cotton candy. There's a little syrup of some sort at the bottom. And what's it taste like? Drinking your cotton candy?
I don't know. It's something. I love sparkling wine. I love putting my wines on tap, especially those summer wines. They're easy drinking, low ABV, and they're easy to put down. So maybe not completely sessionable, but this one is what I expected, a sparkling white wine. I don't get as much of the sweetness, but it's just fun to pour something over cotton candy. You're at the fair. It'd be like doing this at the Twins game would be the next best thing. But here at the fair, we got cotton candy, we got white wine, we're all good. Cheers.
All right, we're here at RC's Barbecue. This is my most anticipated beer of the day. It's a grilled lemon blonde. Bauhaus worked with Animalis Barbecue Company, this like food truck pop-up that hangs out at their place. They grilled sliced lemons and squeezed them to flavor the beer. It's very nice, very like summer shandy. Summer shandy.
Yeah, it has a little bit like a grapefruit radler to me. You know, that lighter. It's definitely strong.
Yeah.
The lemon comes across. It's powerful.
Yeah.
Like you said, lemon juice. It's almost, they did juice the lemons after they seared them, so that's in the beer. So it definitely is stronger.
Yeah. What do you think, Abby? It's getting a little loud around here at this point.
Okay, Troy said strong, and I thought he meant like alcohol strong, like strong ABV, and I was like, does it? Because I felt like I could easily just.
Oh yeah, I think
down the
it's
whole
like
thing
4
and-
or something.
Yeah, yes, strong lemon, but no, not strong alcohol. Very light, refreshing.
So I will say that I paired it with the Maui Sota ribs. Sticky, icky ribs. They are very good.
A 2023
New food. Boom! Now these ribs are super good. Sticky, tender ribs. Kind of a citrusy marinade, kind of teriyaki marinade. Yummy, yum, yum. Shout out RC's. I think we have one more beer for dessert, and then I gotta hit the bike racks. Bam! Here with our dessert beer. This was the highest on Abby's list. This is the Butter Together, kind of like Better Together. But we think it's a shout out to the Harry Potter.
It definitely seems. They even call it a They even call it a butter beer. In their like description of it, it has that butterscotchy taste to it. I don't think it comes across as like an off flavor, which I was worried like.
Oh yeah.
Butter. Would it taste like an off flavor?
Like a diacetyl.
Yeah.
Buttery flavor. No, because this is like very clearly meant to be butterscotch.
It tastes like butter, caramel, and vanilla in a beer.
Like that butterscotch cream ale taste. I don't think it's overly sweet.
Not at all. It's actually really good.
It smells like it's going to be though.
Yeah, but when you taste it, it's
not
cleaner
that
and
sweet.
it's not sticky sweet at all. And it has, like Chip said, it's like sucking on the Werther's candies. It just has such a comforting feeling. I love those candies, but I don't want them in my beer.
Yeah.
But now I do. Dang.
This is everything I hoped and dreamed it would be.
Oh, nice.
So,
It definitely drinks richer than that mini donut beer.
Mm-hmm.
The beer itself has more of those flavors versus what you're putting on the rim of the glass to get you those flavors. So yeah.
You're not faking it. It's in the beer.
Yeah, and I have no idea what's in here. Honey, vanilla.
they definitely didn't
Actual
say
caramel,
anything in the
who knows?
description of how they brewed it. I don't know.
It's a secret.
It's a butterscotch extract. We should
like a potion from Hogwarts.
Yeah.
In Harry Potter, they describe it as.
I think they describe it as sickly sweet, and as a kid, I definitely thought it would taste like cream soda, but with a little alcohol. And I think they say that an adult human or wizard could not get drunk off of it, but a house elf could. So I don't know what ABV that means for house elf drunkenness. 1% maybe, I don't know.
Here at the Blue Barn, drinking our Butterscotch beer, enjoying a beautiful day on the first day of the Minnesota State Fair. Here you go. Cheers.
Cheers.
Let us know your favorite beers at the Minnesota State Fair if you're local. Food, new food, things you would pair, old favorites. Just tell us about your beer experiences at the fair.
There are beer flavored beers, FYI. If we forgot to mention that, it's not all mini donut and butterscotch. There are beer flavored beers. We tried a few.
We had a few beer flavored
There's plenty
beers.
more to have.
But I think it's also kind of a time to kind of like
Try the weird shit.
Yeah, let your palate flex a little bit. All right, y'all. Till next time.
Peace
Bye.
out.
Enjoy the fair.